Welcome to year 7 of the Las Vegas High Rollers, MyNBA franchise here on NBA 2K26. Time really flies. Today, we're finally going to get to start the new season, I would say with the new team, but we're pretty much running it back from last year. We re-signed Drake Powell, and we gave Noah Halliday a huge 5-year maximum extension. And it is an interesting decision because he has limitations in his game, and he's coming off the major injury, but this guy's the best passer in the league, and at just 22 years old, he's already made the All-Star team 3 times, first-team All-NBA, 2-time All-Defense. Should he have gotten those All-Defensive selections? No, but that's neither here nor there. In terms of the top free agents, Luka Doncic returns to the Lakers for $363 million, along with Jalen Brunson. I'm curious to see how the rest of this offense is able to develop around him. Tariq Moreland hasn't really progressed how they would have hoped for a top 3 pick. Sure, he's a good player, but he took a step back in his 3rd year, and it doesn't really seem like he's blossomed into that superstar the Lakers were kind of banking on by keeping that pick and not trading it away. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander back with the Wizards. I know he didn't play very well after being acquired at the deadline during the playoff run, but I think having Tyler Rose at the 1, Shai at the 2, and Trey Johnson at the 3 really makes the most sense for this group moving forward. Shai and Trey never got to play together because Trey Johnson was hurt. The reigning Finals MVP, Giannis Antetokounmpo, goes back to Atlanta, but he is starting to regress quite a bit. He's now only a 90. And then Victor Wembanyama no longer with the Spurs after they blew a 3-1 lead against the Sonics without DeMarco Jefferson and blew a 3-0 lead against Seattle the year before. The Spurs added Deni Avdija, they added Shadrack Williams, trying to keep this roster afloat, while Victor Wembanyama is off to Sacramento, where he will join forces with Geno Hunt, creating probably the second scariest duo in the league behind Julian Wright and DeMarco Jefferson. I kind of figured going into free agency this was a possibility. It made sense. Wemby wants to join a contender. The Kings should have won the finals last year. When Jamie Thompson hurt his knee in the Western Conference Finals, it was Sacramento's title to lose, and they blew it. But by signing Wemby, I figured they would sacrifice depth. Wrong. They re-signed both Brandon Ingram and Jalen Matthews. The only key player they lost was Bam Adebayo, who's being replaced by Wemby. What about player progression, and thus ultimately leading into the discussion of trades? I didn't show you guys our progression, so why don't we start there? Bang! Rome Sterling +4. Mikal Newton +6. He's a 90 and has blossomed into a full-on superstar. How exciting is this? A young guy who's gotten better and better and better each and every year. It felt like the sky is the limit, and I think it's fair to say he's now playing in the clouds. He's only started 17 regular season games. Granted, he did start every game in the second round of the playoffs last year once Halliday went down, but there's no way we can keep him on the bench now. And then Rome Sterling goes up 4. And after his 2nd year, I wondered how high his ceiling would be outside of the scoring, which we knew was very good. Well, apparently pretty high. He's tied for the 3rd highest rated player in the entire league. His defense takes another step up. His playmaking takes another step up. Athleticism is an A+, and IQ is even a B+. And now he is the highest rated guard in the entire league. Even Geno Hunt stays at a 90, which given how good he was last year, I don't think Sacramento is tripping. But these are the guys that Rome Sterling is now in the discussion with. These are the best guards in the sport, and Rome Sterling is firmly one of them. Noah Halliday, meanwhile, does not improve, and recovering from the back injury obviously halted much of his offseason progression. He loses some finishing, which I'm really disappointed by because I thought he was outstanding at the rim last year. He loses some defense, but he now has A+ IQ, and his mid-range goes up a little bit. His overall rating will ultimately stay as an 88. Otherwise, Brandon Miller is still getting better. Baron J up 1, Sifa up 1. His athleticism takes a hit, though, I guess because of some of the injuries. But he now has A+ interior defense and A+ perimeter defense. Only Cooper Flagg and Ibrahim Diop have A+ in both. This top 5 plus Asa Newell, though, what else do they all have in common? They're all free agents after this upcoming season, so it's going to be challenging managing this money. Darius Larrington goes up 5. Wow. IQ is now a B. The scoring grades all take a noticeable boost. That's really exciting. Zaire Washington gets nothing, though. His rebounding goes up, which is good. But I would have liked to have seen everything else take a bit of a boost. He didn't really go up last year, and I thought his play overall did improve naturally. So I guess that's something to keep an eye on. Asa down 2. Blieva up 4. He's definitely going to play a much bigger role in the rotation for us this year. and then Jamal Ashley goes up by 2. That brings us into Summer League. We'll try to get through this pretty quickly, but we do have a couple guys on the main roster in Darius Larrington, Zaire Washington, and Hachan Blieva. What I'm going to do with Washington is I want to turn him into a power forward because while he is a very good defender, I think he is impactful on the perimeter on that side of the ball. He doesn't really have good finishing grades, but he shot nearly 68% at the rim last year, which is good, but I want him to become a better three-point shooter. And since he's not a good rebounder as is, to me, he's more of a 4 than he is a 5. So this is his opportunity to really get some reps there. We end up going 1-2, which isn't horrible, but not great. There are still certainly some really strong players in the Summer League. A lot of talented third-year guys. Obviously, the top rookies like Tayshaun Thomas, Nikola Obradovic. You saw Larrington up there. But I think the most surprising thing is our offense was the worst in the Summer League. We scored the least amount of points and at the least efficient offense, which is strange because that's our bread and butter. Darius Larrington shot the ball horribly, 33% from the field. Hachan Blieva, 34%. Why is he shooting 5 threes a game? Washington was fine, 11, 5, and 5 on good enough shooting splits, certainly compared to the other two, but that wouldn't really be setting the bar high. And then Jamal Ashley was okay. We do beat Minnesota in the first game. They've got some good players. Simon Garan, Yusuf Ivisic, Caleb Boateng, Sylvester Marshall-Hayes. But it was Blieva with 24, 12, 5, and 4 stocks. Washington played well. Larrington did not, though. His shooting continues to be a problem. Now we've got the Warriors with Nikola Obradovic, and we keep winning here in the playoffs, despite Obradovic finishing with 23. But the rest of the guys around him, not great. Larrington finally with a great game. He had 24 and 12. Ashley did his thing. Washington filled up the stat sheet. Blieva was just kind of there. He fouled out in 20 minutes. Now against the Blazers. Now, this Portland team is really good. I'm not surprised we lost. They have Rafa Oyedeji, who I would say is the best player in the Summer League period. After winning the Rookie of the Year last year, Washington had a really nice game. Blieva was hooping. Larrington and Ashley, not so much. They combined to go 8 for 27. As the Blazers win the whole thing, that doesn't really surprise me. These two rookies, Trayvon Knox and Darius Freeman, the two leading scorers. Freeman the 4th pick, Knox the 6th pick. Orlando's team is just as good as Portland's. Their roster is so deep. I mean, Malachi Pope is an 84. Rondé Chamillionaire is an 84. Drayshawn Summers unfortunately tore his meniscus, but he was an 82. They also have Lando Nazario, the former number 3 overall pick. And it looks like he's just kind of a bust, and an all-time bust at that. Did we make the wrong decision by picking Marquise Cannon that year? Maybe we did, but at least we didn't pick Nazario. Him and Tony Moriano are true old-school busts. I don't know why there was 2 of Tony, but he is a 64. He was good as a rookie, too, and then it just kind of completely fell apart. In terms of final numbers, Larrington was the leading scorer. I think if there's anything we've learned about Darius Larrington this Summer League, it's that he is not designed to be the star player, which for our team, that was never going to be his role, but he cannot be the number 1 option because that was a disaster. After the Summer League, we'll take a look at the FIBA World Cup tournament, and I feel like 2K updated this. I feel like they added a couple more countries, and they've done a better job of making sure the drafted players are actually put into the teams. I might be wrong, I might be tripping, but I feel like they updated it a little bit. For instance, Mason Sifa is on the French team. There are some notable French players missing, but, I mean, at least they have our guy. That's what I care about the most. The Australian team is low-key kind of nice, too. They've got Takazo Kagutake, Xander Creed, Marcus Stone in Detroit. He's one of the most underrated players in the league. And I guess Wilth O'Driscoll has some Australian in him, even though he's originally from Ireland. Franz Wagner and Roman Rice on Team Germany is a really nice duo. I don't know how Traquan Randall got here, though, since when was he German? Same thing with Quinn King on Team Brazil. I wonder what the Quinn King hate account thinks of this. The South Sudan team is kind of nice, with Paul Garang, Ibrahim Diop, Kaban Maluach. They don't have the other Garang brother, and everyone on the team is bald. As for Team Canada, obviously Shea leads the way. Jamal Murray is there, even as a 66. Rome Sterling is starting for Team USA. That's pretty dope. I think kind of like the World Baseball Classic and even the Basketball Olympics, we're seeing some guys kind of hop around different countries. Like Hamilton C. Schultz did not realize he was Spanish, but sure. So Team USA ends up winning the finals. Rome Sterling had a really good championship game. 22 points, 8 of 10 shooting. He wasn't that good in the tournament overall, minus against the Philippines. The other games he was kind of stinky. Mason Sifa, meanwhile, they got upset by Team Australia in the first round. Sifa was better in the exhibition games, I would say. He was solid, but Marcus Stone going 10 of 10. Good job, Victor Wembanyama. Way to guard him. The last orders of business we have to go through the offseason include the All-Star City selection. This year, it will be in Los Angeles. I feel like it's there like every third year. For the draft class, you guys know the drill by now. Join the Discord if you want a player. And then here we are into year 7 with the Magic as our opening game. That's kind of fun. I really like Orlando's group. I think they're going to be one of the better teams in the East pretty soon. I'm excited about that game. An under-the-radar move we made in free agency was to sign Colin Sexton to add to the organizational depth, but we still have some roster spots. So Jamal Murray at this point is just kind of our Udonis Haslem. We'll keep him around as long as he wants. Bronson Iguias-Jones will take the final roster spot, 6'7", 62% true shooting percentage. He's played well when given the opportunity. And then for our two-way slot, we're going to sign 21-year-old guard Brett Falks. He's only 6'1", but he can really get to the basket. He's got a 6'9" wingspan. And best of all, yes, he is the son of the man, the myth, the legend, Coach Falks, our interim coach from year 4, the bald-headed demon. Hopefully he's doing well. I feel like his son should shave his head in honor of his father. Anyway, let's talk some trades across the rest of the NBA. We'll see if the Rollers are going to make a move before the start of the year or if we're going to stand pat. So, De'Aaron Fox and the Rockets, it's not a very well-kept secret that Houston's been looking to move him. Obviously, they're entering a rebuild, and they want to sell high. He had a really good year last season. The Kansas City Reign kind of need a true point guard. So, the Rockets are going to be getting Nick Smith Jr. back, but the main reason they're making this trade is for the first-round pick in 2033. It is lottery protected. I'm not convinced the Reign are going to be that good over the next couple of years, even with Benji Varnado. And remember, the Rockets do not have a 2033 pick, which is not ideal for a team that's probably going to be pretty bad. Whoever has that pick must be feeling pretty lucky. Oh, yeah, that's us. That's right. That pick is certainly quite the asset and quite the little toy that we can dangle around if needed in a trade. For the Reign, though, I like this move. De'Aaron Fox is a good player. I don't know why they would start him at the 2 to force Davion Mitchell into the starting lineup. That'd be kind of dumb. The Celtics are kind of tearing it down a little bit. The big three of Jason Tatum, John Morant, and Grady Dick is just not really enough. So they are sending John Morant to Minnesota. And this is an interesting deal because John Morant is still quite good. But he's 32. He's starting to regress a little bit. Minnesota just traded away Anthony Edwards, of course. They feel better about John Morant, who at this point is honestly better than Ant-Man. Rob Dillingham is going back to the Celtics. He's been with Minnesota for the last 7 years. The Celtics are getting 2 first-round picks, which is pretty good for a 32-year-old expiring contract, but they're also taking on a big trade exception that will help Minnesota's financial flexibility in the short term. I like the move for both teams. It gets Minnesota better. It gets Boston a couple of draft picks, and they don't get that much worse. They might be the best three-point shooting team ever. They cannot guard anyone, though. So because of that, they're going to make another move. Grady Dick is off to Miami for Nikola Topic, Nadir Protioni, and 2 first-round picks. The Heat just made the Eastern Conference Finals last year. They really like their group. With Zion Williamson, Scoot Henderson, who's on a very team-friendly deal. They hit on Wolf O'Driscoll in the first round last year, and they just got full control of their draft picks. To me, Grady Dick is the perfect addition for this team. And sure, he's making $180 million over the next 4 years, but they have the flexibility to add a guy like him because of Scoot's really team-friendly deal. Grady Dick is like an A++ offensive role player. He's the perfect connective piece to pair with Scoot and Zion, who are 2 guys who demand the ball. Nikola Topic, I think, fits Boston better than Grady Dick does. He's also on a big deal for 4 years. I think he's going to give them a lot of defense and a lot of playmaking, something that they need more than Miami. Nadir Protioni is 6'10". He can really pass the ball, intriguing physical upside. And then 2 first-round picks going to the Celtics as well. I really like this for all parties. Miami's roster now really fits well together, and they, to me, are probably one of the 3 best teams in the Eastern Conference. Boston, meanwhile, they got out of 2 arguably bad contracts with Ja Morant and Grady Dick. And in return, their roster's not that much worse. They fit better together, and they have 4 new first-round picks. They have a bigger draft stash than just about anyone, and when the next superstar will be available for trade, the Boston Celtics will probably be the first team on the phone. No trades for the Rollers, though. We are officially running it back for this year. Now, I'm not expecting to keep this Rockets pick in the long term, but I think they're going to be really bad, and I want to build the value of that pick up. I feel really good about our group, and I also recognize we need to be financially flexible because we've got a lot of guys who are due for extensions at the end of the year. Sterling, Miller, Newton, Berenger, Sifa, and Asa Newell. And it's not a great free agency class. Cooper Flagg, VJ Edgecombe, Zion Williamson, that's about it. But let's go back to Cooper Flagg for a second. The Mavericks obviously want to make sure he sticks around. So I decided to make one more move here to try to help the effort of keeping him. So Rhino Solovea and a first-round pick is going to the Knicks for Keontae George, who's already been in the Dallas system. He was there a couple years ago. He had an awesome season with the Knicks. We're looking to sell high on him. And I think Keontae George fits this Dallas team like a glove. Rhino Solovea, they picked him in the first round back in year 1. He's had an up-and-down journey. Improved a lot in year 2. Only played a couple games in year 3. He's just kind of leveled out, though, as an inefficient scorer. Not entirely dissimilar to Keontae George. And they're both the same age at 27. I do like the move, though, for the Knicks. That 2035 pick could be very valuable if Cooper Flagg does not stick around, because not only would he be gone, but Paolo Banchero's deal would also be up before then. So those are the trades going into the year. As we take a look at the power rankings, NBA.com has us at number 5. There are some surprises, I would say, throughout the power rankings. I thought NBA.com was probably the best. Eric has the Bucks at 6. I like Milwaukee's group. They improved internally, but they didn't really get better. And unlike us, it's not like they were that good last year. They missed the playoffs. 2K Sports, though, is on crack. The Spurs at 1, Boston at 2. This is before the trades, but still. The Lakers at 3, yet Sacramento is in the bottom half, and we're in 26th. I cannot say I get that one at all. I feel like 2K just picks names out of the hat and puts them in a random order. What about our rotation? It was not very hard deciding who the starting 5 was going into the year. Newton, Rome, Miller, Sifa, Berenjay. I think it'll be a lot harder when Noah Halliday comes back, because Noah Halliday's not going to the bench. Rome's not going to the bench. Brandon Miller's not going to the bench. But Mikal Newton's too good to go off the bench. So it'll be interesting to see how we kind of navigate that and figure it out. But, of course, Noah Halliday's not going to be here for the opener against the Magic, and he won't be here for the start of the year. He's done a good job recovering from his injury, but I would suspect he's probably going to miss roughly the first month of the year. The Magic are, of course, without Drayshawn Summers, who tore his meniscus in the Summer League. Jared McCain currently is the flu. I think he will give it a go in this game, though. But for now, he's not listed in their starting lineup. They've got a fun group, though. Jan Hansen's become a much more efficient player. Shelby Huntley, the former number 4 overall pick, he took a big jump from year 1 to year 2. He's hoping to do the same in year 3. Rondé Chamillionaire did the same from 6 points to 17 last year. They've done a really good job of drafting talent, in my opinion, and it's just about developing all these guys. And I think they're in a similar spot to where we were about a year or 2 ago, trying to make sure all these guys fit together. They've got our guy Yuri Seskov, and they have some other intriguing players who are kind of on the back end of the bench, but I think we'll get an opportunity as the year goes along, including Najir Ishmael, who was a lottery pick last year. Didn't play a lot, but was pretty good given the opportunity. I'm also intrigued by Kayvon Rivers, who was a top 10 pick all the way back in year 1. Showed some flashes with Charlotte, but was pretty bad last year with Minnesota. I'm happy to see that Yuri Seskov, though, has really developed into a good player. A lot of you guys thought that we should not have unprotected him in the expansion draft. I think in hindsight, we got that move right, because the other alternatives were Mark Singleton, who got us Drake Powell, who's a very important piece of our team, or Mikal Newton. Could you imagine if we left him unprotected? That would be really bad. So as much as I like Yuri Seskov, and I think he would fit our roster pretty well, we made the right choice by leaving him unprotected. Let's get season number 7 underway. The Rollers are no longer the new kid on the block, and really, I would say for the first time ever, we have championship aspirations going into the year. We won our first ever playoff series last year. We took the number 1 seed Sacramento Kings to the brink in the second round. Mikal Newton takes a big leap. Rome Sterling takes another big leap. And once Noah Halliday is healthy, I feel like this team's going to be firing on all cylinders. It's basically the exact same roster from last year. We didn't add any key players, but we didn't lose any key players either. And I think that continuity will be really helpful, especially early in the year. As Johan Berenjay wins the tip, and we are underway. All 5 players in our starting lineup not under contract at the end of the year, though. So it'll be interesting to see how all these guys perform in contract seasons. Rondé Chamillionaire up with the floater, the talented guard out of USC who took a big jump from year 1 to year 2. What will he do this season? Jared McCain in his flu game. Misses the short shot inside. Here's Rome Sterling. Up for Brandon Miller on the drive. Miller, floater is good. A little inconsistent last year, but I thought Brandon Miller was a positive addition to the team. But he's going to want a lot of money as an unrestricted free agent this summer. Newton with the spin. Newton up top for Sterling. Jab step, triple, bang! Sterling now in his 4th season. Expected to sign that rookie max in the offseason. Here's McCain up top for Chamillionaire at 6'7". Chamillionaire for 3, it's good. A well-rounded scorer. He's not the biggest guy, but as I talked about him as a draft prospect, he is box office television. Here's Baron J up for the jam. Johan with the slam. He's now one of the longer tenured guys on our team. His 4th season with the Rollers. Here's Jared McCain around the screen on the drive. McCain guarded by Miller inside. Shelby Huntley hits that one over Washington. Very low-scoring game so far. The two defenses are off to a nice start as McCain is blocked by Washington. Up the floor. Larrington from the parking lot. No good. Baron J the rebound, and he gets the putback. I know it wasn't a great shot by Larrington, a guy who has struggled with shot selection as we saw in the Summer League, but he was wide open. I had to give it a shot. Chamillionaire clanks the 3 off the top of the rim, and here comes the Rollers. Newton up for Brandon Miller. Step back, triple is good. B-Millie's got 5, and the lead is up to 5. Orlando's offense has been kind of a disaster so far. McCain wide open. Right as I say that, knocks down the open 3, and the lead is back within 2. Our guards have been quiet, though. Newton only has 3. Rome only has 3. Neither of them have looked all that good so far. Dribble handoff. Johan Baron J on the drive. That one is good. Johan's been our best offensive player so far. He's got 6 and 7, both team highs. Shelby Huntley with it. He's denied at the rim. The 4th pick in 2029, blocked by the 5th pick in 29. It's Washington who connects on the layup on the other end. Well, the assist by Hatchamblieva, who I think is going to play a much bigger role in our rotation this year. Larrington misses the triple, and here comes the Magic. 22-16 late in a very low-scoring first. Washington with the deflection. Chosen back up top. That 3 off the mark by Yuri Seskov. The Rollers, you would think, are going to hold the ball. Larrington will bring it up. Larrington tries to drive right side. Larrington has the mismatch, sends it back up for Powell. Washington, Sterling on the drive. He's blocked, kind of, by McCain. He'll heave it up from half court. It is no good, and that will wrap up the first quarter. If you like defense, this is certainly the start for you. The Rollers are shooting 38% from the field and 2 for 10 from deep. Orlando, 35% from the field, 2 for 6 from deep. Mikal Newton's only 1 for 4. Rome is only 1 for 6. Neither of them have been all that impressive. Johan's been our best player with the 6 and 7. As for Orlando, nobody's got more than 5. It's Chamillionaire who leads the way. Off the miss, Newton in the corner. Sterling, 3, clank. The Rollers are not shooting the 3 ball well at all so far. The NBA's top offense a year ago does not look like it here in the first quarter of game number 1. Here's Jared McCain looking for the screen in front of Newton for 3. McCain is certainly kind of the alpha dog scorer for this team, and I think they're doing a good job of getting the complementary pieces around him to where these guys are going to be competitive, and they've got a lot of picks coming up. Sterling, jab step, Miller for 3, it's good. Brandon Miller, 2 for 3 tonight. Everybody else is 1 for 9, but at least somebody's making their shots. Here's McCain, guarded by Newton, looking for the screen from Pope. McCain, again, he's starting to get hot. He only had 3 points in the first quarter, but he's doubled that early in the second. Miller swings it out for Asa Newell. And now all of a sudden, these teams are hitting their shots. The Rollers at the same amount of made threes in the last 2 possessions that we did in the entire game before that. Newton is able to get the rebound off the miss by the Magic. Looking to bring it up the floor quickly. Newton on the drive. Layup up and in for 2. A nice maneuver by Mikal Newton, who is hoping to have his best season yet. Now is a 90 overall. The expectations for him are quite high. Malachi Pope in for the layup. Little pick and roll action. Not your conventional pick and roll, but I mean, it works. Newton has it ripped away and stolen by Jared McCain. On the other end, McCain inside. Malachi Pope makes the layup. Pope is a guy who struggled to score the ball with the Lakers, a big reason why they traded him for Derek Lively. Orlando hoping to develop his offense because the rest of his game is there. Kaiser Chosen on the drive, guarded by Larrington. Chosen, that one is good. Those 2 guys were drafted only 1 pick apart as well in the 2029 draft. Here is Baron J with it up top for Larrington. Back inside. Berenjay to Powell, looking for the screen. Drake Powell, pick and roll. Yohan with the slam. Nice play there, led by Drake Powell, who we extended on a 2-year deal for $20 million. Chosen, no good. Nice defense by Larrington. Our defense has been suffocating, but our offense has been very mediocre. Good cut, though, by Brandon Miller, and a nice feed by Sterling. Miller's got a dozen. He's starting to heat up. Here's Pope, guarded by Yohan Berenjay. That one is good. It bounces in. Malachi Pope is playing quite well right now for Orlando, as it's 40-32. Chamillionaire looking for the screen from Jan Hansen. Chamillionaire for three. That one is off the mark. Ball is tipped up into the hands of Powell. Looking to run the floor. Powell with the jam, and the lead for Vegas is up to 10. 42-32. Terrell connects with Yuri Seskov. Seskov guarded by Drake Powell. Inside, OG Anunoby in his 15th NBA season, only on his third team. He's been with the Knicks this whole time, leaving just this past offseason. 42-34, still a very low-scoring game. Sterling, step back, triple is good. The Rome signature falls in for the first time in his 4th season. 11-point game. Here's Anunoby on the wing. He's got Rondé Chamillionaire. Lobs it up for OG! I did not know he could still get up like that. The oldest guy on the floor looks like the most athletic one. Sterling intercepted by Chamillionaire. He finds Yuri Seskov. Seskov with it all the way. Layup is good. If Yuri Seskov can become a better finisher, I think that would really help him as a scorer, because right now teams know he's looking to shoot the 3-ball. Chamillionaire loses it. Washington with the steal. Sends it up the floor. Sterling, layup is good. And the lead is up to 9. 47-38. Chamillionaire passes tipped by Blieva. Stolen by Washington. Up for Sterling. Thought about the 3, but he's got Newton open in the lane, and he makes the layup. Excellent ball movement there by the Rollers. You can tell that chemistry is there, given that all these guys run the team last year, and there are no new moving parts this year. Chamillionaire inside. Huntley and one. Asa Newell comes in from the back and penetrates him for the foul. That might be the ugliest free throw I've ever seen. Good God. Here's Asa Newell with it in transition. Sends it up the floor. Larrington for 3. It's good. If Darius Larrington just shoots open threes, I think he'll be such more of an impactful player. But the shot selection is his big weakness. He's got to improve that. McCain, Anunoby with 20 seconds. Shelby Huntley around the screen. Huntley throws up a prayer. I guess it's in that Texas A&M team's DNA. Huntley and Larrington, teammates for the national championship winning Aggies, and I guess they did not teach shot selection. Sterling hits the 3 just seconds before the buzzer. A 15-point lead for the Rollers going into the break. Our offense finally started to catch fire. The threes did start to fall there in the second quarter. After going 2 for 10 in the first, we went 5 for 8 from deep in the second. Rome Sterling is starting to heat up. He had 8 points in the second. Mikel Newton had 8, and Brandon Miller had 7. In the first half overall, it's Sterling with 14, Miller with 12, Newton with 11. For the Magic, McCain leads with 9, Chamillionaire with 7 and 5, Pope and Anunoby with 6 each. Nobody's really stuck out for Orlando, and I think that's a big reason why they've struggled to score the basketball so far. Brandon Miller for 3, it's good. With Chamillionaire guarding him, it's like he's wide open given the size difference. Here comes the Magic. Their efficiencies were not that bad in the first half, but they didn't really get to the line. They only shot 1 free throw, which was a miss. There's OG Anunoby hitting the 3. Trayvon Knox, the rookie out of Virginia, in the game for the first time. I really like this young man as he misses that one inside. Had a great year with the Hoos, was awesome in the Summer League, 28 points in the Summer League championship as Mikel Newton makes the slam. Knox, though, to me, was a top 5 player in the class, and I believe he's Orlando's best long-term building block. As he gets it in for Jan Hansen. Hansen over Washington, bounces in. Is it 60-46? Here come the Rollers now. Rome Sterling's got it with McCain. Up top, Brandon Miller for 3. That one is off the mark. Hansen with the rebound, and here comes Orlando. Jared McCain up the floor. McCain, layup is good. Orlando's trying to just get something here offensively. They're not really in much of the groove. They haven't been all day. Sterling on the spin. Sterling with the layup and the foul. And one for Rome Sterling as it's 65-48. Newell trapped. Miller, deep 3, got it! Team high 18 for Brandon Miller, and the lead is up to 20 as Orlando's got to call time. The Rollers really figuring things out. This game was close about 6-7 minutes ago. Now it's not. As Trayvon Knox misses the three. Newton inside. Newell with the reverse. And the Rollers are rolling. The lead now at 22. Jan Hansen inside for Trayvon Knox. He's been quiet in his debut. Up for Chamillionaire around the screen. Run day. Chamillionaire ends the drought for Orlando. Is it 70-51? Here's Knox with it. Brings it up the floor. Trayvon Knox, step back jumper. No. Pope, the rebound. The pump fake. The spin. And the putback on the hook shot. Malachi Pope has impressed me so far. For a guy who couldn't really score the ball early in his career, he looks like he can score the ball. Off the miss. Powell's got Washington. Washington back to Powell. Powell with the jam. With two guys flying in between him, he sandwiches himself in the middle. Washington with the interception. He continues to be a stock machine. Up for Newton. Bang! Mikel Newton, if he can improve as a three-point shooter, watch out! Really good pass there by Washington, one of the best big man passers in the league. Off the miss. Sterling's got it with the spin. The sauce, the cross, and the pass out to Washington in the corner for Hachamblieva. The big man can shoot the three a little bit. His first points of the game, 25-point lead. Seskov, Terrell, looking for the corner. Back to Seskov for three. No good. Rollers call time. Somebody got hurt. And just by our luck, it's Rome Sterling who lands awkwardly trying to play defense on the contest with Seskov. Grabbing at, of course, his hip. Lovely. We can't even make it one game through the year healthy. Asa Newell up and in for the layup and the foul. Flexing on the haters. 28-point game. Seskov, pump fake. He's got McCain just over a minute in the third. McCain's three is no good. Ball tipped up into the hands of Blieva. He's got Newton on the drive. Newton with the jam. With Rome out, and obviously Noah Halliday hurt, Mikel Newton kind of gets to be the star. Now, he won't really get to today because we're up by 30 and the game's pretty much over. But if Rome misses time, it will be interesting to see how Mikel Newton does as Seskov hits the three. 83-56, under a minute left in the third. Powell on the drive in the corner. Asa Newell. Bang! He's up to 11. Newell, I thought, was our second best player post All-Star break last year. Oh my God! Hachamblieva with the snuff. He's got Newell up the floor. Larrington with the jam. This game is trending downhill and fast for Orlando. They're down by 32. This game was competitive not that long ago. Here's Terrell, guarded by Powell, looking for the screen. Ramon Terrell hits a huge three to cut the lead to 29. 88-59. Could this be the final possession of the third? No. Instead, it's a quick slam for Darius Larrington. Here comes Jared McCain with it for the Magic. Guarded by Mikel Newton, shot clock unplugged. Trying to bait them into shooting early. Seskov up for Terrell. It looks like they won't catch the bait. Terrell open three. No good. Newell the rebound. We're going to have to throw it up quick. It's Larrington at the buzzer. I don't think he got it off. Doesn't go in anyway. Awesome quarter, though. We outscored the Magic 35-19. 14 of 22 from the field, while the Magic were only 7 of 22. Mikel Newton had 7. Asa Newell led the scoring with 8. Miller with 6, while for the Magic, they just could not get anything going in that third quarter. Despite that, though, you could argue the bigger loser of the quarter was us, because our best player got injured in Game 1 of the regular season, which is not exactly a good sign. I think we kind of know where this game is going, though. We don't really need to sit through the fourth because the Rollers are going to win this game big. 124-92, really impressive opening day victory for Vegas. We struggled early on the offensive end of the floor in this game. We did not shoot the three ball well in the first quarter, going 2 for 10. But after that, we really got it going. In the second quarter, we went 5 for 8. In the third quarter, 5 for 10. In the fourth quarter, 1 for 5. But at that point, the game was kind of over. Our defense, I thought, was terrific. And if our defense can be good this year with how impressive the offense, I know, can be, I mean, this team really has championship-level upside. Nobody had more than 20. That's because nobody played that many minutes down the stretch. Nobody played more than 25. But I thought Mikel Newton was good. He's going to have to be the number one option if Rome Sterling misses time. I don't really know how that's going to go. But he played pretty well in this game. 20 points, 9 assists, couple of stocks, 7 of 11 from the field, plus 31. Brandon Miller was good. I thought he played a really nice game for us. But what I find interesting is that he played 20 of the possible 40 minutes, so half the game. He was only a plus 10. And in the minutes when he was not in the game, we were plus 22. I think that's more of a coincidence. I thought he played well and he helped the team, but I guess worth noting. Rome was honestly not that great for his standards before he got hurt. Obviously, we are certainly hoping he doesn't miss too much time. Washington, 11, 10, 6, and 4 stocks. Wow, that is quite the game. And everybody else played their role. Everybody else did their part. Really, really solid team win. You know it's impressive when an 124-point game is kind of the lower level of what this offense can be. I feel like we're capable of so much more on that end of the floor. But we won by so much because of the defense. OG with 19, Chamillionaire 16. McCain only had 13. He went 5 of 16 from the field, 2 for 8 from 2. Really did not play all that well. The defense was fantastic. We've got a bunch of guys on this team who can really guard. And I guess not having Noah Halliday on the floor probably did help the cause a little bit defensively. So let's go through the next couple of weeks. We're going to try to obviously manage the Rome Sterling injury. The biggest game I would say over the first portion of the year is, I would say, certainly the game against Phoenix on November 3rd. However, I have been wanting to play the Kansas City Reign for a while. I really wanted to make it a point to do it last year. They're on the schedule early in the year. I think I'm going to sim right before the Blazer game. So right before those two. For Rome Sterling, he strained his hip. He can play through it. It's October. It's game 2. I'm not going to do that. But we don't have a lot of guard play. So he is probably going to have to come back a little early. I'm going to sit him the next 3 games against the Warriors, the Rockets, and the Spurs. And then we're going to reassess after that. We have a 7-day stretch with 5 games. I probably would not play him for all 5. But we're probably going to need him for at least 2 or 3. So Mikal Newton, you're going to be the number 1. And you're going to have to play 40 minutes a night because we don't really have any other guards on this roster. So this will certainly be interesting. I decided to get creative with the rest of the lineup and put Brandon Miller at the 2. He was solid as a secondary playmaker for us last year. I think he can handle it. And I think we need Drake Powell off the bench because we need another ball handler and another guard. So Larrington will be the new starter. We went 2-1 without Rome. We won the first game against Golden State by 10, although Obradovic at 26-9. Granted, he didn't shoot it well. He's been pretty good so far. The efficiency's not been very good, and he's cooled off after a really good start, but he had a really good start the first 2 games against Brooklyn and Memphis. He's a rookie. He's 19 years old. It's not going to be perfect, but I thought he was the best player in the draft. Newton, 29, 15, 6, and 7 turnovers. Miller had 7 assists. I like that. Berenger had 19 rebounds, while Larrington and Washington went 6 for 26. We beat the Rockets by 50. Miller at 37, Newton at 31. The 2 of them went 29 for 30 at the line. Amen Thompson at 20, Mako Hardaway at 18, and everybody else on this team is horrible. The Rockets are not good. And remember, we had their pick in 2 years. Lost to the Spurs, though, by 10. They're playing really well so far. Dylan Harper's been amazing. And Tre'Davious Wagner, a second-round pick last year at the Wizards, had a career-high 33 points against us. We weren't going to go undefeated, though. No one's perfect. 31-10 for Mikal Newton. He played well again. I think what I'm going to do with Rome, though, I'm going to sit him against the Grizzlies because it's the Grizzlies. I'd rather have him play against Phoenix. And then he'll play against the Bulls, he'll play against the Lakers, and we'll reassess before Toronto. So against the Grizzlies, we lose not only Drake Powell to a hyperextended knee, but Brandon Miller strains his hip. So now we really need Rome Sterling back in the lineup. I don't think Rome is going to miss any more games because of this injury. We need him out there. So he's going to move to the 2. Larrington will stay at the 3. And the rotation's kind of shorthanded with Brandon Miller possibly out for like 2 months. That's a big deal. We have some good news, though. Noah Halliday goes from a broken vertebrae to a sore back. He could theoretically play, but he's still got a couple more weeks of recovery. We're not going to rush him out there. We go 4-1. Our one loss, oddly enough, is to the Grizzlies, though. Cedric Coward at 39. My God. He's had a really good year, but he's hurt again. He suffered a high ankle sprain. This guy is made of glass. It's unfortunate because he's a really good player, but he's missed probably at least half of his NBA games, now in year 7. I don't know what to make of this Grizzlies team. They were like the really fun young team in the West, and they just haven't really progressed. Demian Precocious, they need a big year from. He's been good so far. Evander Burns played really well. I don't know what to make of him, though. He's fascinating. A former 5-star recruit who fell to the second round. He's gotten more PT this year, and he's improved. His passing has taken a step up. He's an awesome defender. And look at his efficiency difference. I mean, his true shooting percentage had to have gone up by 10 or 15%, right? Wrong. It went up by less than 1. How could that be possible? Well, his three-point rate is way lower this year, although he is shooting it more efficiently. His free-throw rate is higher, which is a good thing in theory, but he's not shooting it well at the line. So I really do not know what to make of him, but I am intrigued, I'll tell you that. The Grizzlies, though, they beat us bad. I mean, this is a bad loss to a team that's not very good. They don't even have Marcos Del Valle integrated into the rotation yet. He was kind of behind his schedule due to an injury. Zyrian Ward, the former number 4 pick, is also not in the rotation. He has turned out to be a major bust, and I think this is the move that set the Grizzlies back by a lot. Rome Sterling was on the board for them. In theory, Zyrian Ward is intriguing. He's 6'8", he shot 38% from 3 last year. He should be a good defender, but he's just not a quality NBA player. I think they need to trade him now. Give him a fresh start. Somebody will be intrigued by the tools, but drafting him set the franchise back by about 5 years. He never should have gone that high to begin with because his ceiling was never super high, and clearly the floor wasn't either because he's not in their rotation. Newton 33, 10, 7, 5 blocks, and 5 turnovers in the loss. But he played really well over this next week. He ended up winning the Western Conference Player of the Week, and through 9 games, he's got the team at 7-2, averaging 30, 9, and 7 with 3 stocks on 56% shooting and 68% true shooting. Based on his estimated wins added, he's been the most impactful guard in the league so far this year. Only 5 guys are ahead of him, including DeMarco Jefferson, who's averaging 35, but has missed half of their games, which is so on brand. But Mikal Newton is just playing so well. And the epitome of this came in the Phoenix game, where he scored 53. The 3rd highest regular season scoring outburst in the history of the franchise. I thought it would only be Rome Sterling's name on this list for a while, but Mikal Newton has joined the party. Not only is he scoring the ball at a high level, but he had 12 boards, 7 assists, 6 stocks. He did it on great shooting, and he played the entire game, all 48 minutes. I did not set it up for him to be out there the whole game, but good for him. He's played 41 minutes a night, so naturally these numbers are going to go down. But man, am I impressed. This was Rome's first game back. He fouled out in 20 minutes. Wasn't that good. Washington and Larrington are both really not shooting the ball well this year. For the Suns, Jamie at 35 doing his thing, of course. He started the year off a little slow. He's starting to get back into the swing of things now after the knee injury. But I'll tell you what, I am worried for this Suns team. I said it last year regarding Devin Booker, but this feels like the beginning of the end. And even though his play didn't show it last year, his body started to destruct. And now it's affecting his play, which isn't abnormal for a 35-year-old in his 17th season. But for a team that's in a title window, obviously this is kind of a problem. And to me, it takes the Suns out of that top tier in the West with teams like Seattle and Sacramento and, in my opinion, the Rollers. So this is a major red flag for them. And I know we're obviously not that deep into the year. We're 9 games in, but the Suns are under 500. They need Caden Barnett to grow up fast if they want any chance of competing for a title this year. Then we beat the Bulls. They've been really disappointing this year. Buzelis and Howard had 31 each, but nobody else had more than 9. Anthony Edwards is hurt again. Who is surprised? Much like Devin Booker, he is destructing. But unlike Devin Booker, he's not 35. He's only 30. There's a reason why Minnesota did not get that much for him in return. As for the Rollers, our defense was great. Ignacio 1 for 6. Trae Young 2 for 13. Newton at 38, 7 and 6. Quite the encore. Sterling nearly at his first career triple-double. Baron J and Seetha had double-doubles of their own. We beat the Lakers by 18. Rome really his first game back scoring-wise. He had 36. Why is Larrington taking 22 shots? There's no reason for that. Luka Doncic, 19.7 of 21, 2 for 10 from deep. I don't know what it is, but we just have Luka's number. He plays horrible against us. And then we barely beat the Raptors. Cortez Marcus, the former number 1 pick, had a good game. Quiet development, but he's gotten better in year 2. OJ Stackhouse, meanwhile, at 30. Rome had 33. Sifa had 24, 6, and 7 stocks. Newton did not shoot it well, but he found other ways to impact the basketball game, while Darius Larrington continues to be a certified bricklayer. I think one of the interesting storylines so far has been the two third-year guys, Washington and Larrington. Neither of them have been very efficient so far. Larrington got a lot better in the offseason. Washington did not. Of the two, though, I'm only really worried about one, and that's Larrington, actually. Zaire Washington, his efficiency has gone up, first of all, positive regression to the mean. But he's such an impactful basketball player outside of the scoring that I can live with his inefficiency. He's a very impactful defender. He's a really good passer. He's continued to score well at the rim despite not having a good finishing grade. I changed some of his tendencies in the offseason so he would shoot less in the mid-range and more from three. I think part of his efficiency inconsistencies in the past is that he shot too many mid-rangers, and I would think the three-point percentage, given that he is an A grade, will naturally go up. Darius Larrington, meanwhile, has no business taking 13 shots a game, and unlike Zaire Washington, he's not a very good player outside of the scoring, which he's really struggled at. Sub 41% true shooting. He's been okay at the rim, really bad everywhere else. Defensively, he's been a disaster on the perimeter. He's not been a good player for us. He's been a liability. He hasn't had any good shooting games for us this year, and he's not doing a good job defensively. The whole idea is that he's a catch-and-shoot guy who can guard multiple positions, but he's not shooting it well, and he's not defending well. So he's going to move out of the starting lineup for Asa Newell, who will play the three. I know it's a little bit out there, but I wanted to get creative, and I don't want Drake Powell in the starting lineup. I mean, one, because he's hurt, but when he comes back, I still won't want him in there because we need him as a guard off the bench. So I know I said I was going to play against the Reign because I've been planning on it since last year. But seeing them side by side with Portland, I think the Blazers are the more compelling matchup. For one thing, they're better, so I think it'll be a more competitive game. But to me, Rafa Oyedeji is just as good as Benji Varnado. Paul Garang is just as good as Benji Varnado, and the rest of the team is more interesting. Let's go back to Noah Halliday. I know I briefly touched on this a couple moments ago, but he is really close to coming back, and he theoretically could play in this game. It would be kind of dumb, so we're not going to. But I think it's only going to be about a week or two that he really recovers from his back injury, ramps up basketball activity, and is eventually back in the lineup sooner rather than later. I think having him play against a team like Portland, though, would be pretty bad because these guys run up and down the floor. They're led by their guard play. And to me, Rafa Oyedeji is the long-term number one. He is so good. 19.5 points a game, nearly 9 rebounds at 6'4", 7.5 assists, 3.5 stocks. Yeah, he nearly blocks 2 shots a game, and he's doing it on 52% shooting from the field, 39.5% from 3. He does everything. He plays like he's 6'11" with the rebounds and the block shots, but he's only 6'4". He has all the guard skills you want, but he has all the big skills as well. He is going to be one of the best players in the league in a very short amount of time. He doesn't have to be the alpha scorer, though. That's Paul Garang. The former number 1 pick has blossomed into a superstar of his own. He's averaging about 30 on great shooting. That's what we had hoped Marquise Cannon would have become by now. Jet Rivers is a great complementary piece for those two. The former roller, who's averaging 22 and 9 this year on pretty solid efficiency, particularly from 2. He never showed these signs with us. I never saw this coming from a mile away, but he's turned into an all-star level guard. The problem with Portland is after those 3, they have no size. They drafted Darius Freeman 4th overall. His shooting percentages are all out of whack, but remember, he had 29 in the Summer League Championship game to win it for the Blazers. He doesn't have any estimated wins added yet because he's kind of a black hole with the ball, but he's made over 50% of his threes. He's a very impactful defender. This Blazers team, once they get a true center, they're going to be one of the top dogs in the West very quickly. We are getting Drake Powell back, which is good. As I said earlier, I'm not going to start him because we need guard play off the bench, but he is going to play a lot because we're going to need someone to take some of the pressure off of Newton and Sterling, given that Newton has played so much for us this year, and Rome Sterling still is not 100% healthy. The Rollers at 7-2 look awfully good, even without our 2 best players for most of the season so far. But this Portland team, to me, they're going to be one of the best teams in the Western Conference very quickly. They're going to join the conversation with teams like Sacramento and Seattle, and of course us. Rafa Oyedeji and Paul Garang is one of the scariest long-term duos in the league. And sometimes all it takes is a little bit of lottery luck and good drafting, and you're right back in the thick of things. This Portland team, though, really needs some size. Their starting center is Malachi Okoye, a mid-second round rookie out of LSU, who was a big part of their Final Four run. But as a mid-second rounder who was picked, I think, in the 50s, he probably should not be starting 10 games into his NBA career. So let's get this show on the road. Here is Jet Rivers with it, the former Roller, guarded by Mikel Newton. Rivers inside, no good. Ball is tipped up, gets it back, in for the putback. It never was really going to work with Jet Rivers here. He started off slow. His last year is when Mikel Newton and Rome Sterling joined the fold, so he wasn't ever going to get a chance over them. I'm happy that he's blossomed, though, in Portland, as Sterling hits the sidestep three. It took him a little bit to really get going, but I think Rome Sterling looks a lot more like himself. Leo Anderson with it. Now it's Rivers, guarded by Newton. That was horrible defense. He just stood there. Jet Rivers is so explosive. His first step is so quick. That's a big reason why I drafted him out of UConn, and we certainly saw it there. Newell inside for Johan Berenger with the slam. I haven't talked that much about our front court. I'll do it more in the next episode, but Johan and Sifa have both been outstanding so far this year. Here's Newell, draws the double, out to Sifa for three. It's good. Sifa's offensive game has evolved, and his defense, of course, is fantastic as always. Anderson has Paul Garang inside for Malachi Okoye. That's a mismatch, and Okoye takes advantage. He was kind of the number 2, number 3 guy for that LSU team, who of course had the great tournament run, losing to Texas in the Final Four. As Newton, speaking of Texas, the former Longhorn, is up and in for 2. Both offenses look good so far, certainly the contrary of the Orlando game. Oyedeji, deep three is good. There's nothing that Rafa Oyedeji cannot do on the basketball court. The reigning Rookie of the Year. Portland really should have the last 2. I thought Garang should have won it his first season. Here's Sterling, step back, thought about the shot, won't take it. Takes it now, and makes it. As I look at the guards in the Western Conference over the next few years, to me, when I look at the guards in the Western Conference over the next handful of years, obviously the conversation starts with Sterling, who hits another 3. It starts with Geno Hunt. But then after that, Rafa Oyedeji is right there on that list. And at this point, Mikel Newton's probably got to be there too. As Oyedeji hits the triple. These guys are throwing punches at each other early. I think we've got quite the potential rivalry brewing with Oyedeji and our guards. Newton on the drive with the slam. I mean, we look at how Rafa Oyedeji is such a complete player, but at this point, so is Mikel Newton. The scoring has obviously taken a leap this year, but so is everything else. The rebounding, the passing, the defense, the efficiency, all of it has improved for Newton, who gets crossed up right as I'm gassing him up. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Jet Rivers in for 2, 20-18. Here's Oyedeji, guarded by Sterling. That's the defensive matchup that I'm watching on both ends of the floor, and these guys are killing each other right now on offense. They've each hit 3 threes in the first quarter. Garang connects with Oyedeji inside. Rivers blocked by Newton, who's one of the best shot-blocking guards in the league. Makes the layup on the other end. I can't say he's the best shot-blocking guard because that's probably Oyedeji. 22-21, here's Sterling. Is it ripped away and stolen? Gabriel Cortez, the Spaniard, in for 2 in his 6th season. Former first-rounder of the Nuggets. Spent 3.5 years there. Was in Indiana a little bit in the Halliburton deal. And now, of course, in Portland as their 6th man. With 4 on the shot clock. Cortez, Oyedeji throws up a prayer, and it's answered! Rafa Oyedeji, his 4th triple of the first quarter. I told you this guy can really play. The lob is blocked. That was Powell and Blieva who made a play on the ball. Washington, Sterling, his 4th 3 at the quarter. I mean, these guys are throwing punch after punch after punch. It's a heavyweight boxing match between Oyedeji and Sterling. Oyedeji inside for Carter Winchester, former 2nd-round big man out of the Ohio State University. Sterling misses the layup. Good defense by Gabriel Cortez. Here comes Portland. Cortez has got Jay Arroyo, another talented young scoring guard who connects on the floater. He played really well against us when they beat us in the Summer League playoffs this year. Newton has it stolen. It's Paul Garand who's got it, the former #1 pick. Up to Cortez. Pull-up jumper. That one is good. And the lead is up to 6 for the Trailblazers. Shot and game clock separated by about a second. Washington over to Powell. Even though we haven't talked a lot about him this year, he's been great too. And right as I'm gassing him up, he loses it. Cortez with another steal. He's got Freeman, the rookie, over to Garang. Floater is up and in. The rare Darius Freeman assist. You don't see that every day. Just seconds left in the quarter. Newton with it on the drive. He's got 2. Newton, no good. 33-25 through 1. Very evenly matched for a while, but our offense hit a cold spell late, and our defense really was not very good. Portland connecting on 68% of their shots in the first quarter. Oyedeji with 11. Jet Rivers with 8. Garang with 4, although it's not like he was inefficient. He only shot the ball twice, making both. Rome had 12. Newton with 6. Nobody else had more than 3. We need a little bit more out of the other guys as we go into the second. Newton brings it up for the Rollers, trying to end this scoreless drought with the crossover on Cortez as he dunks all over him. Cortez has been really good, too, defensively in this game, as he's got it on the other end at the top of the key. Looking for someone to get open. It's Paul Garang on the drive. Pull-up jumper is good. I think in hindsight, that 2029 draft class looks pretty good. But Portland obviously would not redo that pick. They could not be more happy with Paul Garang. Here's Powell. Wide open 3. Good release, no good. Washington the rebound and the putback. Zaire Washington just makes all the winning plays. I mean, he knows how to make the right pass. He knows how to get offensive rebounds. And he's such an impactful defender. As Newton is in for the layup, and we're knotted up at 35. Very good start to the second quarter after a really bad ending to the first. Darius Freeman III over to Arroyo. He's got Rivers. Back inside. And 1 for the rookie, Darius Freeman. This was kind of the 3-player draft at the top, so an awkward spot for Portland at number 4. But obviously they really like him. Sterling all the way and 1 of the zone. But back to Freeman, though. Could you imagine if Portland got another top 3 pick? Like, obviously they don't need someone like Obradovic or Armani Ingram, but could you imagine either one of those guys on this team? Garang blocked by Sifa. Blazers get it back. Oyedeji guarded by Drake Powell. Oyedeji very impressive in the first. Got some space on the drive. Floater is no good, but the putback is. That's Clint Gibson, another second-round rookie at the 5. 41-40, Blazers up by a point. Gibson blocked by Sifa. Blazers get it back with 5. It's Oyedeji on the drive. Blocked again by Sifa. Mason Sifa is a wizard defensively. The Blazers are going to have 9/10 of a second to shoot it. Freeman on the inbound. Oyedeji at the buzzer, and it's good! After all that, of course, Oyedeji finds a way to score. 43-40, Freeman, 3, no good. Sterling with the rebound. Here come the high rollers running up the floor. Sterling on the drive. Layup is good. I mean, it's just so effortless. Anywhere in the half court, anyone can guard him. Doesn't matter. He'll find a way to put it in. Garang up for Oyedeji, guarded by Drake Powell at the top of the key. Oyedeji on the drive, inside for Paul Garang, and 1 slam. The dynamic duo connects. The future superstar tandem for the Blazers. 46-42, here's Mikal Newton, guarded by his former teammate Rivers. Over to Sterling for 3, who's got 20 here in the first half. In the corner, it's Leo Anderson, a lottery pick last year out of Purdue. Now Rivers has it. Rivers drives inside. Rivers with Newton tightly guarding him. Still finds a way to score. Again, Jet Rivers did not show that ability here. He's been good in this first half. Oyedeji with it on the drive. He's doubled. Passes it out. Jay Arroyo for 3. The native of Puerto Rico makes it a 53-47 game now. 2.5 in the first half. Oyedeji misses. A rare sight. On the other end, Sterling's got it inside for Larrington, who's got 4. Darius Larrington has not shot the ball double-digit times in this first half, thank goodness. Arroyo's blocked by Sifa. Oyedeji with it for the Blazers. On the drive, open lane, too easy. And even though we're blocking all these shots, the Blazers are still finding ways to get the offensive rebounds. Shot no good. Newton the board, his 4th. We're going to run up the floor, 55-51. Blieva, Sterling, bang! 23 for Rome. He's got 23. Newton has 16. Everybody else combined has 15. That's kind of a problem. Oyedeji with just over a minute. Open three around the screen. It's too easy. Rafa Oyedeji, the fourth pick out of Syracuse. In a redraft, I think he'd be the easy #1 pick, as Newton is in for the layup. I mean, last year's class certainly has some talented players at the top. I like Cortez Marcus, the #1 pick. But Oyedeji is clearly the best player in that class. I said it, I think, at the time. I would have picked him #1 as he makes the layup. Obviously, I didn't think he'd be this good. I mean, this is one of the most advanced young guards ever, as Hachem Blieva makes the dunk. 60-58 now. Oyedeji at the rim. No good. Newell the rebound, and we're going to try to slow things down a little bit. Or are we? Sterling, sidestep, three ball. Off the mark. That was for the lead. And here comes Portland. Arroyo's got it for the Blazers with 15. Goes right up for the shot, and it works. He made it. But Vegas is going to get one more look here with plenty of time, about 10 seconds. Rome brings it up slowly with 23 points, guarded by Oyedeji. Sterling on the drive. Newell, wide open three. Perfect release. Apparently that's a red now. And that'll wrap up the first half. The Trailblazers are up by 4, 62-58. The star power for both of these teams in this game has looked legit. Rome Sterling has 23. Mikel Newton has 18. Nobody else has more than 4 for the Rollers. Rafa Oyedeji, meanwhile, has 22, 5, and 5. He's such an impactful player. I mean, he's on pace for a 44-point triple-double. Garang only has 9, but he's been efficient. Jet Rivers with 10. Those guys just haven't shot it as much as Oyedeji, and to be fair, they probably shouldn't be the way he's playing, as Newton makes the layup early in the third. Both offenses certainly shot it well there in that first half, each connecting on over 55% of their field goals. Oyedeji inside for Okoye, who makes the slam. He gets by Barrenjay, 64-60. Newell, pump fake, guarded by Garang. Up for Sifa, looking for the screen. Sifa on the drive, back inside for Asa Newell. His first points of the game. He's been quiet in this one, but I think he's done a reasonably good job defensively on Garang. Oyedeji, three rims out. Newton the rebound, and here comes Vegas, possibly looking for the lead. Newton, what about the three? Instead goes for Sterling. Pump fake, long two. No good. I don't know why he shot that ball. Here comes the Blazers now. Oyedeji. He's got Rivers. Jet Rivers. Blocked again by Sifa! It's a block party here in Vegas. Mason Sifa has 5 in this game. He has been a monster defensively. I mean, nobody can shoot on him. But just as he's gotten with every block, the Blazers find a way to retain possession. Here's Rivers with it. He's got Okoye. Over to Oyedeji with 10. Oyedeji, jumper, too easy. Rome gave him too much space. The Blazers are scoring so many second chance looks. Off the inbound, it's Jet Rivers, guarded by Newton. Rivers with it, drives left side. Rivers is blocked by Mikel Newton. Everybody's getting a hand on these shots. It feels like every shot for Portland is either going in or it's being blocked. I mean, our defense has been suffocating in this game, but when they have even the littlest bit of space, they're playing magnet ball. Blazers again get to keep it because it was last out on us. Okoye on the inbound. He's got Jet Rivers. Will the Blazers score more second chance points? Rivers with 9 in isolation. He's not really doing anything here. Up for the layup, and it's good. I mean, it wasn't really a pretty possession, but they scored 68-66. Blieva with the steal, the second-year pro from Kansas. He goes up for Larrington, over to Sterling, guarded by Oyedeji. Sterling, sidestep, 3, no good. Sterling keeps trying to shoot it over Oyedeji. The one big advantage physically that Rome has is that he's 4 inches taller. As Newton gets the steal, up the floor, Sterling with the slam. And we're knotted up at 68. This has been a really good game. There's a reason why I picked this one over the rain. Here's Paul Garang, guarded by Larrington. Garang, step back, 3 ball is good. You cannot give these guys even the smallest bit of space because they will make you pay. Anderson finds Oyedeji. Those two guys came in together for Portland in the 2030 draft. Anderson finds Garang inside. Okoye with the monster jam. It's crazy how young this group is, too. Jet Rivers is by far the most experienced player in their starting lineup. Everybody else is in their 3rd year or less. As Larrington hits the 3, he's got 9, and most importantly, he's got it on efficient shooting. He's had 0 games this year shooting above 50%. We're looking to change that today. Here's Rivers with Newton. Rivers has it poked away, tries to save it, but it's roller ball. It's weird because the Blazers are making their shots at a high clip, but our defense is getting stocks galore. Steals, blocks, poking the ball away. We've done a really good job of impacting their offense, but when they do get shots off, they make it. So it's really just high-level basketball both ways. I mean, these are two really good teams, except for the interior of Portland. We are gashing them around the basket, and it's working as Drake Powell makes the layup. We know what their weakness is, and we have continued to exploit it time and time again. Oyedeji with Powell. Hands it off. Garang up top. Arroyo, three is good. Larrington all up in his grill, and it doesn't matter. 78-75. Rivers off the mark. Newton to board, 26-7. Filling up the stat sheet as he's got Blieva with the slam. Hacham Blieva has continued to impress me. He started the year off slow, but I think he's really looked good as of late. Another steal, another fast break opportunity for Washington, who's in for the slam. Our defense continues to force turnovers at ease. It's a one-point roller lead. Portland's been up for most of this game. Garang, long two. It's too easy for him. Lead for us is short-lived. 80-79, under 3 to go in the third. Arroyo's got it for the Blazers with Larrington. Up for Oyedeji. Pump fake. Too easy for Rafa Oyedeji. He can score in contact. He can score when he's open. He can score off the dribble. He can score off the catch. He can score in literally every which way imaginable. Just give him an opportunity with the ball, and he will take advantage. As another three is good for Arroyo. There is a foul by Portland on Freeman, the rookie, but the basket will still count with the foul being after the shot and off the ball. Here's Newton on the drive. Layup is good. I mean, we're not missing anything at the rim right now. We are attacking them down low. We know that their bigs are not very good as we continue to really hone in on that weakness of theirs. But Portland still is the lead. 87-83. Diego Cervantes, a guy who I really wanted to draft in the second round a couple years ago, misses the three. Larrington's got it for the Rollers. He finds Mikal Newton with about 14 seconds. Newton, pump fake. Larrington goes for the three, and it's off the mark. The Blazers will get one more shot here. Cervantes has got it, brings it up the floor. Diego Cervantes over to Freeman. At the buzzer, it's no good. 87-83. Much of the same in that third quarter in the sense that both teams were really efficient. Blazers 58%, Rollers 56%. We're dominating around the basket. We're blocking shots. We're forcing turnovers. But Portland is still making shots at a really high rate. It was Arroyo and Okoye who led the scoring with 6. Neither of them missed. Oyedeji only had 4. Garang only had 5. But the two of them only missed once as Winchester is in for the and one to start the fourth. Rivers was the only guy who struggled in the third for the Blazers. He went 1 for 6. As for the Rollers, it's Asa Newell in for the jam. Nobody for us had more than 5 in that quarter. A notable performer, I would say, was Mikal Newton, who had only 4 points, but he had 2 boards, 4 assists, and 3 stocks. As the shot is no good, but Newell's in with the windmill putback. Mama! There goes that man! Oh my goodness, Asa Newell, hello! Sterling joins the dunk parade as he's got a jam of his own. He only had 2 points in the third on just 1 of 5 shooting. But he's now up to 27 for the afternoon. 1-point game. Here's Cortez, guarded by Sterling. Hands it off for Garang with under 8 to go. Winchester sets the screen. Garang with Sifa. That's a fun matchup. Garang misses. Newell the rebound. Here comes Vegas looking to add to it. Sterling, 3-ball. That one is off the mark. Barrenjay unable to get the rebound as the Blazers call time. Someone on their end is hurt. It's Paul Garang, one of their key players. So he's out of the game for the time being. Here's Jet Rivers, struggled in the third, only 1 for 6. He hits the mid-range there early in the fourth. Efficiency was always the problem with him. I knew there was some talent in there. Granted, I didn't think he'd be this good, but he just was never efficient offensively. Here's Oyedeji on the drive. Hands it off. It's Peterson with it. Peterson, no good. I mean, we're making guys up at this point playing center for them. As Washington is in for the slam. I think the only qualification to play center for the Blazers is that you're at least 6'10", and you are an NPC. That's about it. 93-93, under 6 to go. Hold on to your horses. We've got quite the ending in store. Oyedeji, that one is good. Blazers back ahead. He's at about 30 points at this point tonight. Here is Newton with it, 22-9-6 on the drive. Pump fake, Washington, bang! Washington's had 3 straight really efficient games shooting the basketball. I figured the efficiency would go up after the poor start as Freeman misses at the line. Here's Sterling, finds Sifa with the slam. 5-3-3 and 5 blocks for Mason Sifa. 98-100. Oyedeji over to Jet Rivers. 4.5 to go now. Rivers with it on the left wing with 10. Rivers for the lead. It's good! Jet Rivers has never been a great three-point shooter, but he can hit him when he's open. 101-100. Oyedeji, he's got Rivers for the and one. It's a bird. It's a plane. Well, it is a plane. It's a jet as he dunks over 2 defenders to make it a 4-point Blazer lead. Blieva in for Larrington. Back up for Blieva to Sterling for 3. Knocks it down. Rome's been quiet in this second half. We've got to get him rolling again. He's up to 32. Off the miss. Anderson no good on the putback. Sifa over to Newton. 3.5 to go now. Newton on the drive for the lead. Mikel Newton scaling up the rim like he's Spider-Man. Anderson blocked by Sifa, but of course they get a second effort shot, but it's no good. Sifa now with 6 blocks in this game. Blieva wide open. He's got the dunk. He's now got 6 points. 107-104. Shout out Blieva giving us some good minutes tonight. Giving us some late minutes in the fourth. Anderson, floater over Washington. That one is good. And we're back within 1. 107-106. 2 minutes to go. Oyedeji for the lead. Off the mark. See for the rebound. He's got Washington. Up the floor. Sterling. Pump fake. Thought about the 3. Jab step. Inside. It's Newton with it, and he loses it. Rivers with the steal. Rivers tries to spin away. Looking to put the Blazers on top. Anderson, Garang back in the game. Makes it for the lead. Paul Garang like he never left. 109-107. Here's Sifa on the drive. Over to Newton. Newton looks to make it in. And one! Mikel Newton has a chance for the lead, but he misses at the line. So we're tied at 109. Garang with the board for the Blazers. He's got Oyedeji, 80 seconds. Oyedeji puts Portland on top by 2. 111-109. Sterling on the drive. Bump fake. Sifa all the way. And 1! Mason Sifa with a chance for the lead at the line. His 3-throw is no good. Anderson with the rebound. Blazers can put themselves back ahead. Rivers with just over a minute in a tie game. Guarded by Newton. Rivers blocked by Newton! Washington's got it for the Rollers. Washington, it's good! And Vegas is up by a pair. The best offense is good defense. The shot blocks continue. Oyedeji guarded by Sterling. Iron sharpens iron. We're tied at 113. This crowd is loud. It's game 10 of the regular season, and it sounds like a playoff game. Newton, pump fake. Sifa on the drive, hurls it up, and 1! Another one for Mason Sifa, who has been so good in this game. He's got to make the 3-throw, though. We have not been clutch at the line tonight, as this one is good. 3-point lead for the Rollers. 10, 5, 4, and 6 blocks for Mason. Oyedeji with it on the drive. He's blocked again! This time it's Sterling who gets a hand on it. The Trailblazers will keep it. Asa Newell comes back into the game for Washington, who's been good for us down the stretch. Let's see what Portland can do down by 3. 31.2 seconds, shot clock at 16. Okoye, the rookie, will inbound it. He's got Oyedeji. Short shot, no good. Barrenjay, the rebound. Are they not fouling? Huh. I guess their thought process is they think they can get a stop defensively, call time down by 3. But if we score, there's going to be like 5 seconds left. The game would be over. Okay, suit yourself. Here's Sterling, and he's fouled! What a horribly mismanaged possession by the Blazers. That wasn't even a shooting foul. Now, Rome's going to go to the line because we're in the bonus. But that was a reach-in. He wasn't trying to contest the shot. Why did Portland wait until there was 7.5 seconds to do that? As Sterling makes the first. I mean, that's just coaching malpractice on the point of the Blazers. And as much as these guys are so talented, you can tell how young they are. As the second one is good, and it's a 5-point roller lead, and the Blazers use your last time out with 7.5 seconds left. Had they fouled Sterling, or better yet, Berenger right when he got the rebound, one, he probably wouldn't have made both free throws, but they would have gotten the ball back with a lot more time. Oyedeji for three, no good. Newton the rebound, and they're not going to foul. This game is over. The Rollers win it, 118-113. Man, these Blazers, though, they are good. They were really impressive for the first 39 minutes and 30 seconds because they horribly mismanaged the end of this game. But I'm still really excited about this team, and I've been hyping them up as a group that's going to be at the top of the Western Conference standings in no time. That is once they get some actual size, because Portland got dominated down low. Look at the shot charts. Look at all the blue in the restricted area for them offensively, and look at all the red in the restricted area for us. We shot, get ready for this, at the rim, 94%. 33 for 35, whereas Portland shot 61%. That is a noticeable far cry. Of the 34 teams in the NBA, you could give the Blazers the 33rd best starting center, and they would have won this game. But they just have no one down low. And they didn't even try to address it in the offseason for God knows what reason. For us, though, Rome with 34, 4, and 4. It's good to see him really back into the swing of things scoring-wise. He's looking a lot more like the Rome that we saw at the end of last year, these last couple of games. But to me, our best player was Mikal Newton. Plus 10, 26, 11, 7, 5 stocks, only turned the ball over twice. He continues to just play so well. I mean, forget All-Star. This is all NBA level stuff from him. On 12 of 18 shooting, I mean, he's just continued to be unbelievable. Washington with 15, he was very efficient, which was good to see. Sifa, 10, 5, 4, and 6 blocks. He has been awesome for his this year. He was great in this game. His defense was ridiculous. I mean, he looks incredible. He has leveled up his game here in year 4. As has Johan Berenger, who I don't think was as good in this game, but in the 21 minutes he played, we were plus 18 with him on the floor, and minus 13 in the 19 minutes he did not play. Johan's plus-minus this year is ridiculous. Our team has been far better this season with Johan on the floor versus him not on the floor. He's averaging over 10 rebounds a game. He's making over 70% of his shots from the field. He has been awesome. And shout out Darius Larrington, first game above 50% shooting from the field. Rafa Oyedeji, 34, 8, and 6 on very good shooting. He is legit. I mean, he's awesome. Jed at 24 and 4. Garang 17, 7, and 5. Okoye was good on offense. I'll give him that. He was 4 for 4. But defensively, I mean, oh my God. They would be genuinely better off having Rafa Oyedeji play center at 6'4". We had a ton of blocks in this game. We had a handful of steals. We obviously shot the ball really well. Both teams did. I think what we're going to do is we're going to simulate up to Noah Halliday's return, which I'm kind of projecting to be the Minnesota game. So we've got 3 more at home until I would think he's going to be healthy. We've got the Reign, of course, along with the Jazz, and then the Heat. The Heat look good with Grady Dick, and the Jazz have the best record in the NBA right now. So this is not going to be an easy stretch for us. I do like that we're at home for all 3 of these games. We'll see if we can improve on our 8-2 start as Mason Sifa bruises his hip against Utah. That's unfortunate with how well he's been playing, but it's not really going to affect his attributes, so I'm going to keep him in there. He's going to get some less playing time, but we kind of need him on the floor, and he can play through it. Noah Halliday is now officially healthy, and he will play against Minnesota as we go 2-1 in the games we sim. We're now 10-3. Against the Reign, we blow them out. I'm happy I chose the Portland game in hindsight. Rome had 46. Powell had 12 of 15 shooting. He's shooting 66% from the field right now. Like, this is nuts. 26 points on 15 shots with no free-throw attempts. He's shooting 87% at the rim. It's like every game for him is against Portland. Larrington was good. Sifa, 8, 12, and 8. Newton didn't shoot it well, but he had 10 assists. Fox was pretty good. Varnado did not shoot it well, but was still solid. The Reign have been a little disappointing so far this year. I feel like Benji Varnado's development is kind of plateaued. We beat the Jazz. That's a good win. With how good Utah's played this year, they're 12-4. Rome had 44. Yeah, he's definitely back from last year. 23 for Newton. Everybody else did their thing, while Ace had 30. Patel had 20. He didn't shoot it well from the field. And then we lost to the Heat by 1. Our 7-game win streak comes to an end, despite 32 from Rome Sterling. Newton did not shoot it well, probably his worst game of the year. Larrington is back to hurling up bricks. Grady Dick had 37. He has been as good as advertised for the Heat so far. And they were without Scoot Henderson in this game, who in my opinion is their best player. Zion, you could argue, is maybe more dominant, and Grady Dick's probably been their best this year. But to me, Miami is Scoot Henderson's team. So we go into next episode with the return of Noah Halliday. We fared well without him at 10-3. The third best point differential in the league, only behind Seattle and Sacramento. But the Western Conference is loaded. 6 of the top 7 teams in terms of point differential are in the West. Right now, we are in 5th place. I thought there was going to be a shift in the balance of power. Clearly not. The West looks as good as ever, and we are in for quite the challenge. I'm excited to dissect a little bit more of what the league looks like so far this year in the next episode, talk about some storylines, and get the return of our guy Noah Halliday. That'll wrap things up. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. I know it was a long one, but we had a lot to go over. Peace out.